spent a month and a half, like I mentioned. Tell me about that moment, right? It was the penalty corner. On the back half of two crazy games, two overtime games. Tell me about that winning moment, though, right? You had the assist on that play. Tell me about it.
I mean, you kind of, when you talk about that moment, you kind of have to talk about the second overtime, which was, again, only about 15 seconds long. But it just starts with, Grace making a pass to me. She then starts like busting her way up the field. Everybody's exhausted. Sessa's in a great position, makes a great touch. Then if you watch the goal back or that whole playback, which I have, Stess is also like booking it into the circle, beating like multiple Princeton defenders, and then they earn that corner together. And I think when we earned the corner, I felt, I don't want to say relief, but kind of like, okay, that's like a great way to start this. Like we got to kind of keep the momentum going, and this is a really, really good opportunity for us to put it away. Um, and so it kind of just showed how like mentally locked in we all were because like the physical aspects were there, but like in order to pull those types of plays off and like Sessa's insert, the stick stop has to be, right on the money. Ilsa's flick has to be perfect, basically. In order for all those things to come together when you're that tired, especially after the game that we played on Friday, it just felt like all of that really paid off in that moment. And it was just like the biggest feeling of like relief and just like I can't believe we did it again. But at the same time, again, those first 15 seconds of double overtime, of course, like if we're playing that way, like there's no other way that game could go. So it was just a really like fulfilling moment of like all of that work that we've done mentally, physically is just paying off in like the best possible way.
Yeah, and you said you watched that moment. I mean, how much do you keep rewatching that, reliving that moment, winning that game?
It's so interesting. I do watch it a lot because it brings me a lot of joy, but I try to remember it from my perspective as well because as you start watching it from like the broadcast perspective, that's kind of like the one that you start remembering, and I really want to remember like my point of view, which is like stopping the ball, standing right behind Ilsa, watching her flick it. Like that's what I want to remember. So it's like I do watch it a lot, but I'm also trying to like kind of keep my version of it in my head as well.
And just for you, right? I mean, this was your last season at Northwestern. What did it mean to finish? I mean, what has been an incredibly storied career? What did it mean to finish on top with that moment?
Yeah, I mean, winning that trophy never gets old, no matter how many times you do it. But I think there's something just so bittersweet about that being, my last touch in a college game, my last college game ever. It is hard to describe because, when I came in as a freshman, we weren't necessarily national championship contenders. And now, we're, just went to our fifth one in a row, which is kind of insane. So, just being able to kind of continue like the work that, the teams that I was on during the first championship, and the second one that we won. It's just really like a full circle moment to be able to finish my career at the same stage. And I know this is not going to be the last time, obviously, that Northwestern is in that final game.
Yeah, and you mentioned, but I mean, when you came to Northwestern, right? Maybe not in that national championship kind of category. Now they very much are. It's almost an expectation at this point. And a lot of that because of what you have done. What do you want your legacy to be as this program looks to keep the dynasty going in the coming years?
Yeah, I've thought about this because I've been asked this, but I think I would like my legacy to kind of revolve around like Northwestern pride and the pride that I have playing for my teammates and for my coaches and just wearing the purple every time I step on that field. Knowing, whether or not you know field hockey, like you know that I'm giving my all no matter what I'm doing. And that's something I definitely want my teammates to remember me by. And definitely what I would like to be a big part of my Northwestern legacy in general.
And that game, the last time as well, playing with that group, I know you guys, I mean, been through a lot, played, so many postseason games, national championships, I mean, all of it, right? What was it like after that game? What were some of the emotions knowing it was the last time you played with that group? And What were some of those conversations like with, your teammates and, those girls that, again, you've been through it all with?
Yeah, I mean, this team is just so special. And there were definitely tears afterwards because you can't help but just feel so, overwhelmed and emotional at that moment. And then, I had been like so stressed all day because I knew that like regardless of the outcome, this is going to be my last game. And I didn't want that to override how the team was going to play or how honestly how I was going to play. And so I like kept it all back all day. And then, as soon as Ilsa scores and that final whistle blows, it's like every single emotion I'd kept bottled up, like just, went everywhere. But yeah, I mean, it was just so fun celebrating with the team after and giving everybody hugs. And, we got so close this year because we only had 5 home games. So we bonded a lot on the road. And I think that makes this ending even better, being the unseeded team and, underdogs, which I guess was a storyline we were going with. But we didn't feel that really. And so we were like, we have earned this and we're going to celebrate.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned it, but of course, Northwestern not getting the top four seed, like, a lot of people thought they maybe should have. Tell me about that, how that, and maybe the little chip on your shoulder after that kind of fed into your mentality and the entire team's mentality heading into the tournament this year.
Yeah, first of all, I think that to show how far our program has come, my freshman and sophomore year, we cheered so loudly for even making the tournament. Like it was obviously it's a big accomplishment, but we were like so stoked. And this year they announced our name and we're not hosting. And I think you could have heard a pin drop in that room. And that just kind of showed like making the tournament is kind of a given for us now. We want to host, and when we, unfortunately didn't fall our way, I think you could just feel like the determination in the room at that moment. Like grateful we're going to the tournament, but also like we want to prove why we should have had that spot. And that gave us that like edge and chip on our shoulder that, maybe we didn't have before because we had hosted since 2022. Um, but I definitely think that kind of feeding into that road warrior mentality and just kind of helped bring us closer together off the field. And then that translated into how we were playing on the field.
Yeah, and now looking at your career, I mean, the list of accomplishments is, I mean, across the world of sports, I mean, it's ridiculous. There's hardly many words to describe it, right? Three national titles, two-time Big Ten Player of the Year, two-time National Player of the Year. For you, what do you feel like set you apart? What did you do, whether it's a mental thing, physical, any of it, that allowed you to get that incredible list of accolades?
Well, I mean, honestly, none of those accolades happen without the team. And, it's pretty common that like the national player of the year comes from the national championship winning team. So like none of that happens without all of the work that, our team has put in. And I don't know. I honestly don't know maybe what, sets me apart, but I think it's kind of just what sets our team apart. And that's like the culture, the work ethic, like that relentless mindset, being down 3-1 with 2 minutes left in a national semifinal and knowing that we still have a chance to win it is not, I haven't been part of many teams that actually have that belief and have the will to come back like that. And, again, the individual accolades don't happen without those moments from everybody on the field.
You mentioned culture. A lot of that starts, of course, with Coach Fuchs. If you could tell me a little bit about your relationship with her from, the first time you met her in the recruiting process, and now that, you're graduated from the program, just all those moments with her. If you could tell me a little bit about your bond with Coach Fuchs.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short. So I've known Tracy since I was in the junior national team system. She's always kind of been, a prominent figure within USA Field Hockey. Everybody knows her name. And even before I really knew about Northwestern or started looking there, I knew who Tracy was. And then being able to play for her at Northwestern, but then also at the national team level has just been like really rewarding, and it's so like encouraging to have somebody like her in my corner, like especially when I decided to take that Olympic year. Like she had been there before, she knew what that took, and it wasn't even like a decision. It was like, of course you're going to go and try to represent our country in Paris. Like, it's a no-brainer. We'll support you and we'll be here when you get back. And that really just speaks to like her character. And and it wasn't just her, like the whole team was the same way. Like, you got to go do what you got to do and we'll be here when you get back. And it felt like I had never left. And again, that's just a testament to like her, but also the culture that she's built, the people that she hires on her staff, and like the type of players that she just recruits.
And so the next question, this will be my last one here. So if you were to tell yourself at the beginning of your Northwestern journey, everything that happened, right, over those next 5, 6 years, winning all the titles, winning all of the awards, having all of those moments with all of those people, if you were to tell yourself all of that, how do you think you would react? What do you think you'd think?
I mean, I would absolutely think I was lying. Like, absolutely. I mean, I picked Northwestern because it was the perfect blend of like that athletic and academic excellence. And I knew it was a place I could be, myself on and off the field. And obviously I was like, I would love to compete for those Big Ten championships. And we're definitely going to make the NCAA tournament. But I mean, I still can't believe that when I look back on my career that I've been part of three national championship winning teams. Like, that is insane. Um, like, the program at Northwestern has completely, kind of changed and gone, and like, I don't know, it's like kind of become a dynasty at this point, and that's so special to be a part of. And I mean, it is a bit of like disbelief, but it's also just so exciting to think about like what they're going to do next year, and like how many great players they're returning and great recruits they're bringing in. And I'm really excited to, be a proud alum of this program.